Right, this is a drive from Bridgend, and we're going to go down to the Princess of Wales Hospital, but going through town just so we can have a look around. I've been taxiing now for 8 years in Bridgend. It's alright, have a good laugh, meet some good people, meet some idiots as well, but there we are. But, I remember the other night now, picked a couple of girls up, and I suffer with emphysema, and I had a bit of a coughing fit, and one of the girls said, "Oh, drive, you got a bad cough." I said, "Aye." I said, "I suffer with emphysema, you know." I said, "The thing set it off, like fumes and cheap perfumes and stuff, you know." She said, "Oh, you're not saying my perfume's cheap." She said, "It cost me a bloody fortune." She said, "It's called Come To Me." I said, "Well, don't smell like bloody Come To Me." And then down bottom of town here, we're going down Bridgend Hill onto Park Street. Well, down at the bottom of Park Street, you've got what they call the United Services Club. We call it the War Office. Picked 2 old boys up from there the other night in the back of the car. Now one says to the other, he says, "George," he says, "do you remember the last time you made love to a woman?" He said, "Yes." He says, "1945. He says, "Bloody hell, that's a long time ago." He says, "Not really." He said, "It's only 10:30 now." Now, I'll tell you, that reminds me of my old granddad, you know, cracking old boy. When I was a lad up in Manchester, he took me around the garden one day and he was showing me all the wonders of the world and nature, you know, all the birds and the different things like that. And we saw this worm coming out of an hole, and he said, "Hey, see that, son?" He said, "That worm coming out at all." I said, "Aye, Grandad." He said, "Do you know you can't push it back in?" I said, "Why not, Grandad?" He said, "Because it's so soft and floppy." He said, "It just wobbles about, it's floppy and soft." And I said, "I could." "No, you couldn't, son." I said, "Grandad, I could." "No, son, you could." I said, "Grandad." And I went in, I got a tin of hairspray, I sprayed this worm, and it went stiff like that, and I shoved it down the hole. Anyway, he gave me 50 pence for that. In the morning now, I sat there having my breakfast, he come down with a big grin on his face. He said, "Here lad, put that in the pocket." And I said, "What's that, Grandad?" And I looked at it with 50p. I said, "What's that for then?" He said, "Remember yesterday with the worm?" I said, "Aye." I said, "But you already give me that." He said, "No, son," he said, "that's off your grandma." So he came down to see, my grandma's very hard of hearing, you know, and he came down to see us a few years ago. And my granddad's a great old boy, he'll talk to anybody. And anyway, sat on a train now, and this fellow sat opposite him. So my granddad said, "Where are you from, men?" The guy said, "I'm from Ohio in the US of A." My grandma said, "What did he say, love?" He said, "Ask them where they're from, love." He said, "They're from Ohio in USA. "Oh," she said. The American said to my granddad, he said, "Where are you from, boy?" "Oh," he said, "We're from Barnsley." My grandma said, "What did he say, love?" "Oh." He said, "He asked us where we're from, love." I said, "We're from Barnsley." "Oh," she said. The American said, "I was in Barnsley in the war," he said. "I had the worst screw in all of my life in Barnsley." My grandma said, "What did he say, love?" He said, "He thinks he remembers you from the war." And then, of course, as years have gone by, you know, things happen, don't they? And I remember I was getting ready to go out one day and phone rang. I looked back and wife had answered it and she was crying there. And I said, "What's up?" She said, "It's Grandma." She said, "It's Grandad, he's in hospital, they think he's dying." I said, "Oh, bloody hell, not again. Christ, every bloody week he's dying. He's a real hypochondriac, you know." But anyway, well, we went round to see him. And as he lay there on his deathbed, he looked up to my brother. There was 2 of me and my 2 brothers there. And he looked up to my brother. He said, "John," he said, "do you know what I've left you in my will?" He said, "No, Grandad." "What?" He said, "Bugger all." He said, "Why, Grandad?" He said, "All through life," he said, all you ever thought about was money. And you married a girl called Penny. And as for you, Billy, do you know what I've left you?" He said, "No, Grandad." "What?" He says, "Bugger all." He said, "Why, Grandad?" He says, "All through life," he said, "all you ever thought about was flowers, and you married a girl called Rose. And as for you, Jim," I said, "Don't bother, come on, Fanny, let's get out of here before he has to go at us." Here we are, stopped at another red light, Bridgend. coming up to the Coity Castle roundabout in a minute. Over there on the right, just by the bridge there, if you turn right, it'll take you into the town centre and that. Well, on the left hand side there's a little cafe there, the Cozy Cafe. Cracking little place it is. Sandwiches, best place in Bridgend for sandwiches. You can get whatever you want on a sandwich, and they guarantee it. They said if you go in there and you ask for something and they can't give it you on a sandwich, they'll give you £5. I went in yesterday, I said, hey Phil, can I have elephant's foreskin sandwich please? Oh, she said, sorry Jim, she said, I can't give you one. I said, hey, I knew I'd have you, come on, £5. She said, yeah, but she said, we've got no bread. Here we are, come up Coity Road now, towards the hospital. Yeah, it's a hell of a town to drive around sometimes, especially on this road. There is a video on YouTube, and it says that they were driving up here and they said they were telling them about building the new inner bypass, and this road is going to be dead, you know, and all this like that. It's completely the opposite. It's far busier. Oops, I've just got a job, so I'm going to have to accept the job and sign off, and now I might do another one for you, see if you like it. Ta-ra for now.